Black ops, something our government is very good at. Now, if you want to find black ops our government's involved in, go to Poly Market. I'm sure it's listed there. But look, the nuclear bomb, the Oppenheimer was a black ops. Nobody knew what they were doing. It was all secret, top secret. It wasn't. They weren't sure that they could do what they were trying to do. It had never been done before. So, but that wasn't the reason for not telling anybody. They didn't want the enemy to know, which was Japan and Germany. And I'm sure Japan and Germany knew anyway, but they didn't want it on the front page of the news. So, uh, you know, smart people are not what you think smart people are. They're not Sheldon in the Big Bang Theory. Uh, they're not. Sheldon is not necessarily a smart person. Uh, he's more of a robot where he reads something and he can spit it out back at you, and he can read a lot and he can spit back a lot, and that doesn't make him smart, you know. And a lot of people that invent things, uh, well, I think smart is a good word to use for some of the inventions that we live with every day, like this iPad that I'm working on right now. But that doesn't mean they're good people. Like Steve Jobs was a pedophile. Uh, he was part of the Epstein scandal. And, you know, intelligence like that comes with oddities. Me myself, I'm labeled mentally ill, bipolar, and I don't think I am, but I don't argue it. I get a free life for it. I think the government put me down this road so they can control me. Well, they thought so. And, and if anything I do, they can always put it in the paper. He's mentally ill. And that'll discount 90% of the people that read the article will be like, oh, let's forget about him. And that's what they want. That's their goal. That's a black opt, you know. And, you know, uh, you can't trust your government. I mean, come on, Trump has proven that over and over again. You can't trust your government. Um, they would nuke New York and blame Russia or Israel or Iran at this point. Uh, but they would do it themselves, just like they did 9/11 themselves. You know, we have really rotten people running this world, and you know, they get that spot because they're ruthless. They'll do anything for the power. Like Trump, he'll do anything for the power. He'll discredit anybody. The way he talked about McCain, the way he talked about mentally retarded people, or you know, it's just he's despicable beyond despicable. And those are the kind of people that rise to that level because they don't care. They have no scruples. They have no morals. Uh, they have no integrity, and they'll sell their mother down the stream for anything. And the one thing they do have in common is they're very big pussies. They're pussies beyond pussies. Uh, they whatever they do, they have an escape route for them. You know, they don't take the fall uh, unless they are forced to, and most of them try their best not to be forced to. You know, uh, that was the one thing that was odd about Madoff because he got caught and he took the fall. But most people that do those kind of scams, they live in another country, they never get caught, and like a Roman Pulaski living in France, and he raped little girls. And it's just they're like I said, they're pussies beyond pussies. They don't ever face the music unless they have to and forced to. And they're mean as hell. They're mean as hell to their family, to their workers, um, their customers. They cut their throats as much as they can, as quick as they can for a buck. And, it's just, like I said, they have no morals, they have no scruples, and they have no integrity. And you can see that with Trump. He has none of that. And, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he did have sex with his daughter. He talks about it so much. And when you talk about it, it's like a confession. And that's basically what he did. And, it's just, if they're willing to do that, what are they not willing to do besides not face the music? Trump started Iran war because he didn't want people talking about Epstein. Um, Trump got reelected so he didn't have to go to jail. All these things so he didn't have to face the music. He's fighting all the lawsuits against him that he lost, and they have many judgments against him. And his workers, his lawyer, his accountant, they all go to jail, but he doesn't, and that's fine with him. He doesn't care about the lawyer or the accountant. He calls them turncoats because they ratted on him or something. He has no respect for disloyal people, but he has no respect for himself. So the only people that are loyal to him have no respect for themselves as well. Like his whole cabinet has no respect for themselves, and you know, uh, now like I talk about Narcissus, which he is the king Narcissus of the world right now, and the people that are around him are flying monkeys. And if you don't know what that is, go on YouTube and look up flying monkeys. And that's what they are. They're flying monkeys. They do his bidding for him. And the minute they don't do it the way he wants, like Bondi, Pam Bondi, and I don't know the other names, but um, they had a Homeland Security. I forget her name. She's been gone so long. I haven't heard it in a while. But she was psycho beyond psycho. And, it's just, these are the kind of people that he surrounds himself with. Because when he surrounds himself with these people, guess who looks good? He looks good. Oh, I'm not crazy like Bondi. I'm not disloyal like Bondi. That's why we got rid of her. They're all scapegoats. They're all able to be hung out to dry at any moment in time. And and they know it. That's why they lie for him. That's why they do what they do, because they know they have no standing. Nobody's going to back them up. Once they leave that position, they'll never get another job anywhere. And, it's just uh, the Republicans in general are just evil. Um, the Democrats are stupid. And that's pretty much how it goes. But the Democrats aren't as stupid as you think. And, the Republicans are more evil than you think. Uh, the Democrats are just waiting for their time. They're waiting for their turn. They're waiting for their up at bat. And they'll get it. And they'll mess it up like they always do. And they set themselves up for future up at bats. And that's what they care about most. They don't want to be counted out. And they're thinking 2026 is going to be their up at bat. And I'm not sure that it is. Uh, but like I said, you don't see a lot of MAGA hats anymore. Nobody wears them. Uh, they're afraid. They don't want to admit they voted for him or that they support him. And that's why I created this. This I'm not afraid to wear. This gets a lot of laughs. A lot of people laugh. They take pictures with me with it. They want pictures of the hat, stuff like that. So it's very funny. And the people that don't laugh and aren't having fun are, it's good for me because I love it. I'm pissing them off, and that makes me happy too. So I win either way. But, it's just, you can't trust your government. They're just scum of the earth. And, they can't get to those positions to be in the government in those positions unless they are scum of the earth. They put through many tests and trials and tribulations before they get to that position. And if they don't pass them, then they don't get there. And like you see with the Republicans that are being primaried, they failed the test. They failed the scumbag test. And now they're out, and that's it. You know, either be the best scumbag you can be or you don't have a job. And that's why we have a horrible country and the world is in such turmoil. And I can't wait till China comes and takes us over.